All right, listen, if you don't love your life, you need to listen to this video. And I think this video might hurt some people. It might be a wake-up call for some people because, reflecting is hard, and admitting that you're not where you want to be is hard. I've been working on myself and working on creating a life that I love for a long time, and I've reached this place where I'm so happy. And I was just on a month-long trip, and I couldn't wait to get back. And I just remember thinking about how grateful I am that I have a life that I look forward to. Even when I'm on vacation, I couldn't wait to get back to my life, to my work, to my space, my habits. Like, that is crazy to me. And so if you're someone that looks forward to Friday every week and you can't wait till Friday and the weekends is kind of what you live for, or vacations, or at the end of vacations you're depressed or sad because you have to go back to life or go back to reality, maybe this video will help you. It's basically going to be, there's really 4 steps in creating a life you love, 4 main categories, if you will, that you need to focus on and get right if you want to create a life you love and you enjoy and you wake up pumped about, and it's a life you don't need to run from or vacation from. And I'm not saying vacation is bad. I think traveling, experiencing new cultures and foods and areas, that's something that we're just always going to want to do and experience as humans. So that's not what I'm saying. And I'm also not saying that, I don't enjoy days off, because I do. But at the end of the day, I Monday through Friday feel I'm just as happy as I am on the weekends, and they're kind of one and the same. Okay. Step 1, in terms of creating a life that you love, that you feel you're getting fulfillment from, is, do you hate or do you love your 9 to 5? And this is an area where I think today more than ever is a very big topic. And there are the people, I'm not going to sit here and say that you need to be doing exactly what you're passionate about, or your life sucks, right? I think there are people who are on the extreme side of things that say that. That's not the case. However, if you hate what you do and you're spending 40, 50, 60 hours a week doing something that doesn't uplift you, that doesn't motivate you or bring you some sort of fulfillment, then something has to change. You should be inspired and or somewhat proud about what you're doing, because we spend roughly 1/3 of our lives working. We're not on this planet for that long. And so if you think about it, and we live, let's say, to 100 years, 33 years you're spending in your 9 to 5. It is a waste if you hate what you're doing. If your 9 to 5 isn't helping you as a human being feel like you're having a positive impact, if you're not getting, again, some sort of fulfillment from it, and or it's not something you're passionate about at all, something needs to change. I think a lot of us, because of parents most of the time and or society, jump into careers because we think it's going to pay well, and or it's just something that pays the bills. That's okay if that's where you're at today, but what I'm telling you is you need to start working on something on the side so that you're not doing this for the next 40 years. That could be anything. This is, it would be a long ass video if I started talking about how to create a business on the side, but what you can do, for example, for me, I worked in the corporate world in the tech space for almost 10 years. But about 4 years ago, I started YouTube on the side and content creation on the side. My weekends were dedicated towards this. My nights, my evenings, after I got off of work and I went to the gym, they were dedicated towards learning video editing, recording, research. And I did that for 4 years until about a year ago, it replaced my 9 to 5 income. And now it's more than doubled it. And I have no boss. I have more freedom than any one of my friends. And I love everything about it. But it was a 4-year process. And for you, it might take 10 years or it might take 6 months, depending on what your passion is and what you start and how hard you go at it on the side. But what are you doing before you start your 9 to 5, and what are you doing after? If you get off of work and you go home and you just sit on the couch, turn on TV, order food, that's not going to cut it, and that's not going to help you get to where you want to be. And again, this is where the hard truth kind of comes in. Having a life that you love, it's not easy to get there, which is why so few of us live a life that they love, is because they didn't put the work in to create a life that you love, right? If you want to live how others can't, you have to do what others won't. At the end of the day, figure out what drives you. What are you passionate about? And find a way to make money from that. I guarantee you there is a way to make money about what you're passionate about. And if you think that that's not true, that's an excuse that you're telling yourself. And I'm sorry, but it's not going to cut it. So you have to start working on it today or this week. And you need to keep working on it for years. Slow progress, no progress. Keep working at it no matter what you feel. You got to keep going. And no matter what people say, you have to keep going, because at the end of the day, that's the only way you're going to find a way to escape the 9 to 5 of doing something that you don't enjoy or doesn't bring you fulfillment. Now, if you're someone who is working a career and you're a teacher and you love what you do, you're a doctor, you love being in tech, whatever it is, kudos to you. Stick with that and you can skip this step altogether. Step 2, which is going to be another eye-opener and another area that is going to potentially be one of the more challenging aspects for you to kind of implement, which is it comes down to who are you spending your time with. And the reason why this topic is so challenging is a lot of the times it could be your family and friends that are holding you back. And I know you don't want to hear that. But what I'm telling you right now is if you want to love the life that you live, you have to surround yourself with people that do nothing but uplift you, inspire you, bring you positivity and joy, and or motivate you because they are where you want to be. I know a lot of us, most of us, probably don't have a choice with, who our family members are. And a lot of us have family members that don't do any of those things. I'm not sitting here saying you need to cut those people off. I'm not saying you need to unfollow people on socials. I'm saying you need to be very stingy and you need to be very selfish with who you're allowing to take your time and energy. On top of that, so with that, there's a quote that I just was watching a video and Pharrell just brought this up, but marathon runners, the best marathon runners in the world, how they got there is they trained with people who were faster than them. That is how you basically uplift yourself. And another analogy I remember hearing a couple months back was imagine going to the gym. And if you go to the gym every day, and let's say my max is 45s on each side of the bench press or the squat rack, right? If the person I'm working out with every day warms up with my max, I'm going to be motivated and almost forced to increase my weight, whether that's through, progressive overload. There's a lot of kind of topics within that, but basically you need to surround yourself with someone who is stronger than you in the gym so that you become stronger. Imagine if I worked out with someone who is weaker than me every day, and because of that, I didn't want to inconvenience them, so I'm not putting on a ton of weight, right? That is an issue. You do not want to be working out with people who are weaker than you, and you don't want to be running with people who are slower than you. You want to surround yourself with people who are better than you, because that is going to inspire you, motivate you, and most of all, force you to elevate your life in your game. On top of that, one quick caveat. Today we live in a digital world, and that is totally fine. I think it is, honestly, personally, I think it's totally fine for kids to have most of their close friends be online through video games, or a lot of the times, who we take in or consume, maybe we don't even know personally. It still matters who you're choosing to consume. So whether that's YouTubers, Twitch streamers, podcasters, music artists, doesn't matter. Who are you consuming? What are they doing for you? Are they motivating you? Are they uplifting? Are they inspiring? Are they bringing any sort of joy? If not, you really need to question, what is the value that they're bringing you? And just like the people in real life, I think you need to be really stingy with who gets your time. So this is step 2 of creating a life you love. So the first step, make sure your 9 to 5 is doing something that brings you fulfillment and joy that you look forward to on a day-to-day basis, and you can look forward to for the next 60 years. Part 2, who are you spending time with? Who are you consuming? Make sure that these people inspire you, make you feel good about life, make you feel good about yourself, optimistic about things. Step 3, your space. Everyone's going to be different here. Some people love a minimalistic space. Some people love I don't want to say a cluttered space, but maybe some people like just different scenes where people collect things. Whatever works for you works for you. I'm not going to tell you how you should enjoy your time, how you should set up your home. But what I am going to tell you is you need to set up your space, your room, your apartment, your house in such a way that it does inspire you or motivate you every day when you wake up. You should look forward to going home. You should look forward to spending time in your room, in your space, whatever it is. Now, if you're someone that goes to work, you leave 9 to 5 and you come home, and when you walk through that door, you are more stressed, have more anxiety because of your home, that needs to change immediately. You need to figure out a way to where your home is your sanctuary. And that's exactly how you should set it up. And for everyone, it's going to be different. Luckily, Michelle and I have very similar tastes in the sense that we like minimalistic, clean spaces. And so I've created a world in which I have my workspace where I think and do creative work. We have a beautiful living room to watch, to spend time with our dogs, to watch TV. We have a beautiful bedroom where we like to relax and wind down. We've created areas that fulfill us in all of the ways that we need fulfillment, that also motivate us and help us to get creative and do our best work and stay motivated. If you don't have that, you need to get that. And again, I'm not saying it has to be like mine. Figure out what works for you and make that happen, because this is where you're spending all of your time when you're not at work, right? So if you're catching a theme, where are you spending your time and who you're spending it with? That's how you create a life you love. And then let's roll right into the very last step, which is, and it ties into all of it, you need to have daily habits that help you feel like you're progressing in life. This includes things like diet, fitness, journaling, meditation, whatever it might be for you. You need to have that dialed down. And I'm not saying you have to wake up every day and do a cold plunge or a cold shower and you have to write what you're grateful for. All of those things are great. And if you could manage that, do it. I do a lot of the things. But either way, you need to have some form of habits that help you check and reflect on how much you're progressing and give you a sense of fulfillment. And so, because as humans, this is something that we need to do in order to bring happiness. There was a study done, and the number one form of I forgot the exact terminology, but basically a study was done, and the best way to determine whether or not someone was happy was a sense of progress. So feeling like you're progressing as a human being is important. And if you don't have daily habits dialed down to help you feel like you're progressing, both spiritually, physically, mentally, then all of those other things are not going to matter much. And so that starts with your daily habits. And so start small, get, and grow over. You don't have to jump in and be David Goggins tomorrow. And I will be creating individual videos on these things, on specific habit building, on specific things like diet, fitness, at least for what I do. But at the end of the day, you need to have something that allows you to feel like you're progressing, that holds you accountable, that keeps you on track. Journaling, meditating are all amazing tools. Reading, listening to podcasts, diet, fitness every day, getting out in the sun. Like, these are things that you need to dial in, figure out what works for you, what drives you, what works with you and who you spend time with. Figure it all out to make sure it's all cohesive. And that is how you create a life you love. I am so fortunate and blessed that I've gotten to this point in my life. And I look forward to just continuing to get even more happy. And I don't even know if that's possible, but I know that I think I can check more boxes off and progress more, which should bring more fulfillment. I have a tattoo on my leg which says, "May the optimism of tomorrow be your foundation for today." I want you all to know that you are capable of creating a life that you love. It might take some of you 5 years, 10 years. It might take some of you 6 months. Everyone's going to be different, but there are things that I know you could be doing that you can start tomorrow that are going to help you get there quicker. That is it. I feel like I was just talking a lot, but I wanted to talk as if I was talking to a best friend, because I have recently had some friends reach out to me about this topic, about not feeling like they're heading in the direction they want to head into. And I've also reflected a lot on, I've been fortunate enough and blessed enough to travel. And I'm just so grateful that when I'm traveling, I can't wait to get back to my life and back to home, even though I love traveling. And one caveat I just want to make for the record: of course, there are days I don't want to work. I love what I do, but there are days that I just want to stay in bed and watch Netflix all day. There are days where, I do just want to go to Mexico and lay on the beach for a week and not think about anything. That is totally fine. That is human. I'm not saying that, you're going to create a life in which those things aren't great. But what I am saying is there's too many of us wasting our lives, living a life that we are not happy with, and that is not okay. And as I'm getting older, as we are all getting older, I think it's just getting more and more obvious to me. And it pisses me off, the people that aren't taking action today, and they're just waiting and waiting. And I wish I would have started sooner on these things, but we all are figuring life out. But just know that you have the power to create the life you want. And I know a lot of us it might be harder for some of us than others, right? A lot of us are in situations where, as I'm going through these steps, you might have felt that all of these steps are impossible for you to do. But I promise you they're not. It just might take a longer time. It might be a slower transition than others. But as long as you just take one step at a time, 1% better every day, lay one brick down at a time, eventually you will take a step back and be like, holy shit, I have this huge wall. And eventually you will take a step back and be like, damn, my life is so much better than it was a year ago. That is all. I feel like I was just ranting forever, but I hope this brought some sort of value to you. That's the only thing that matters with this video. And, I'm working on, the challenging part with a video like this is like, I remember when I first wrote this down, I was like, oh, this is a great topic for a video. I was like, how do I talk about this and not come across like a total douchebag bragging about his life, right? Because that's not what the point of this is. That's not what I'm trying to do. But my life was miserable at one point. And, that'll be for another topic. But, I dealt with a lot of struggles early on in my life. in a group home. I mean, even today, I have a lot of external problems. My mom is an alcoholic who is in and out of prison and lives on the streets today. My little brother is in and out of jail and prison and on drugs today. I have things and shit that are not great. My life is not fine and dandy, and I wasn't blessed with, all of this easy path to get to where I am today. And I think that ultimately is why I want to create this channel and share, is because I've come from a really shitty upbringing, but I've created this life that I love, that I'm so grateful for, that I'm so blessed about. And because of that, I want to share it and to show you that it's possible. That is all, because I'm going to keep rambling and ranting. If you got any value out of this, like it, send it to anyone that you think might needs to hear it. Hit the sub button. I'm gonna keep doing more stuff like this. So appreciate y'all. Let's do it. Let's create the life we love. I know you can, and I'm excited to check the comments and DM me, message me, because I can't wait to hear that you have created the life that you love. Maybe it's a year from now, 2 years from now. Comment on this whenever you're watching this, or whenever this clicks for you, and I'll read it. So, all right, y'all. Peace.